Sababu ya trucks zimeanguka kwa hii barabara ya Maimbayo. Imetusumbua sana, hata saa hii haisafiri kuanzia jana jioni 6 mpaka saa hii tunashindwa watu watasafiri namna gani.
Na nimekaa kutoka pale Rironi mpaka Limuru, nimekaa about 1.5 hours. Kunaonekana iko na the road is very busy. Kuna watu wengi, kuna wasafiri wengi sana. Kuna watu wengi sana wanaelekea pande ya huku juu.
Sasa ningeomba hivi, barabara ndio iko na shida. Alafu magari nazo zimekuwa mingi. Sasa kama barabara ingepanuliwa iwe kubwa na Daktari William Ruto atusaidie, ingekuwa mzuri.
And still on roads, the construction of the 15 billion shillings Bagamoyo-Mohororo-Malindi road project crisscrossing Mombasa and Kilifi counties is gathering pace, with the multinational project being implemented in 2 distinct sections. According to Kenya National Highway Authority, KENHA, the first phase of the project, which is in Mombasa County, involves the construction of 4 dual carriageways with service lanes, 6 grade separated junctions, 6 footbridges and non-motorized traffic facilities, and is currently at 31%. While a stretch in Kilifi County is currently at 63% done and is expected to be completed by the end of December. However, it has been extended to March 2025 owing to a 3.5-kilometer stretch that awaits the completion of the compensation process for the contractor to finalize works.
The infrastructure that is coming up in Mombasa will indeed boost connectivity, both for evacuation of goods and services and also for tourism. You realize that right from MPAD projects, evacuating goods from the airport and joining the Mariakani, Mombasa kwa Jomvu, once it's dual, and the section we are in now, which is the main artery all the way from Tanzania at Bagamoyo, it will ease the transfer of goods and services on the corridors that we are talking about. And this section also, where we have quite a bit of tourism attractive areas all the way to Kilifi, and most of the hotel facilities are over here. So once it's dual, the access becomes easy and pretty easy from town. There are sections that have 1 or 2 challenges, about 3.5 kilometers, where it's yet to be sorted in terms of access to the land for the contractor to finalize. That project was scheduled to end this December, but because of the issues we are sorting out, we have probably it might be extended to around March 2025 next year. So it will be pretty done and the road will be open.
Elsewhere, a section of youth allied to the Kikuyu Council of Elders want the young folk to put aside their differences with the political class and allow elected leaders to serve the electorate. Meanwhile, graduates have been urged to embrace artificial intelligence, AI, and emerging technologies to stay relevant in a rapidly changing labor market. Details of this and other stories making headlines in our county news roundup.
Speaking at the Kikuyu Council of Elders headquarters in Kiambu County, the youth led by their National Youth Chairperson Simon Waweru Kamau stressed the need for unity in building a future where all can work together for the common good of the citizenry.
As we navigate this difficult terrain, it is crucial that we, as a community and as a nation, embrace the spirit of forgiveness. We urge the Kikuyu youth, the Kikuyu community, and all Kenyans to forgive our elected leaders.
Give our leaders the time and space to serve the nation without the constant distractions of political warfare.
Elsewhere, residents of Mumoni Ward in Mwingi North, Kitui County are calling on the government through the Ministry of Energy to apply affirmative action in supplying the area with electricity, as most residents cannot afford the cost of connectivity.
Na huku tuko na towns ambazo zinaweza kuwa electrified. Kwa hivyo tukiweka stima, vijana wetu watapata kazi ya welding. Pia vijana wetu wako na shida nyingine, na ni shida ambayo ni kubwa sana. Kwa sababu tuna stima, wasichana wetu wanaolewa mapema sana.
In Busia County, more than 80 families from Budalangi and Samia sub-counties will benefit from the county government's initiative to provide clean water to the public.
It is going to serve a significant population of 45,000 population of Bunyala West, together with the 35,000 people in the upper side of Bunyala North and a few in Bwiri.
Waterborne diseases zimekuwa zikienea sana huku Bunyala sub-county, lakini sasa hivi wameletewa maji, tunatumaini kuwa hiyo maji itasaidia hawa watu na hizo ugonjwa zinaweza kupungua.
Elsewhere, Herbal Society of Kenya says regulations on herbal medicine and traditional healing could hinder the advancement of alternative medicine.
Sile sheria, sera senye siko, ni sahali ya juu senye mwenye tiba wa kiasili, wa kadiri, hata yule wa chini, awezi akaweza kuyatimu, awezi akafikia. Tuseme kama Farmers and Poisons Board, kile wanahitaji, jinsi vile wanahitaji tuweze kuweka dawa zetu, mpaka jinsi ya kulipia, ili tuweze kupata dawa moja ama mbili zimeweza kuwa registered, inakuwa ni hali ya juu.
Traffic Commandant Dr. Frederick Ochieng has cautioned motorists to be careful during this festive season, saying traffic officers will heighten alertness on those flouting traffic laws.
Ningependa kushauri wananchi, members of the public, na sana madriver, ni kwamba wawe waangalifu barabarani. Tuko na hiyo mambo ya alcohol law, itakuwa ina test kila mwendeshaji akiwa kwa barabara, na pia tuko na mambo ya speed gun ambayo itakuwa inatumika na officers wa traffic kwa barabara fulani mahali zinakuanga na majali.
Still on the festive period, Bungoma County Government has warned against the expected high intake of drugs and alcohol consumption during the festivities.
As a team, we are moving out with one strong message during this festive season as we educate the public against overindulgence during this festive season. We are sensitizing the public to be cautious as they celebrate this festive season.
Finally, graduates have been urged to embrace artificial intelligence and emerging technologies to stay relevant in a rapidly changing labor market.
Dunia ya kesho inasema kazi nyingi ambazo zitakuwa zikifanywa na machine, ile ambayo tunaita artificial intelligence. Hiyo ni kitu kikubwa sana ambayo kimebadilisha vile watu ambao wanafanya kazi siku ya leo.
In other news, Betting Control and Licensing Board Chairperson Dr. Jane Makau has underscored the need for women empowerment in the society in order to promote gender equality. Speaking during the commissioning of Kako Comprehensive School borehole and as well as food donations to widows and orphans of Makueni County, Dr. Mwikali said women play a critical role in the community and needed to be empowered through education, awareness, literacy, and equal status in the society.
Done the project like the water project that we are doing here, and we expect to do even more in the coming years. As a company, this is where we are focusing on. We are saying it's not just about gaming and winning, but again, impacting people's lives and giving back to society.
The generous donation of Christmas food packages to widows and orphans by BankBet Limited is an act of compassion and love. The scripture reminds us of the importance of giving and caring for the vulnerable.
Moving on, Kisima Health Center in Lodekejek Ward, Samburu West has received an ambulance and other medical equipment from the National Government Affirmative Action Fund Kitty. Samburu County Health Minister Dr. Nasir Lekudere urged leaders to collaborate to improve the healthcare services in the county, emphasizing the importance of bringing services closer to the people.
Tufanye kazi pamoja ili kusudi tuboreshe huduma za afya hapa Samburu. Kwa kweli hii ward ya Lodekejek, kati ya ward zote hii ward ndio haikuwa na ambulance. Nashukuru sana our women rep kwa kutujali na kuhakikisha kwamba hizi services yote zimeletwa. Maanake hizi chombo ama hizi mashini unaziona hapa ndio itabadilika kuboresha huduma hapa Samburu.
My basis ya kuchagua facility ilikuwa kuangalia ni facility gani inaweza kusaidia watu wengi zaidi na coverage kubwa zaidi. So hiyo ndio sababu nilichagua Kisima Health Center in consultation pamoja na madaktari wetu ambaye wanahusika hapa katika Samburu County kwa idara ya afya. Na leo nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu mimi nilipopata msaada hii ninajua itaenda kusaidia wagonjwa wetu wengi.
And still on health, Migori County Government has launched a 5-year strategic and health investment plan. It outlines pathways for collaboration and revenue generation in the health sector, which is currently grappling with numerous challenges. Migori County Secretary Oscar Olima, while presiding over the launch, emphasized that as donor organizations plan their exit, the document will be instrumental in securing alternative funding through local revenue sources for critical health sector needs. He noted that despite health being devolved, only 15% of the allocated funds from the National Treasury reach the counties, creating a significant financial gap. Sentiments echoed by Migori Health CECM Caleb Opondi.
We as the government are investing and relying on our people to actually get the job done. Either if you do automation, you do revenue policing, you do revenue monitoring, if the people factor is not taken care of, you may not succeed much.
It has been said would help us even in planning for infrastructural improvement. It will help. They will help us even in planning for staffing, which has been a challenge to us. It will also help us even mitigating some of the issues which affect us as a department.
These are documents that will help us and even guide us as partners to work together with the Migori County Health Government to ensure that everybody is included, because this journey is not a journey that one can walk alone.
The data quality assurance protocol, the first edition, officially launched.
Now, parents have been urged to activate parental control measures on digital devices used by their children during these festivities to avoid exposing them to an array of risks. According to Lisa Chelule, Nakuru Women representative, the digital space offers great learning opportunities, but parents ought to make sure they monitor content their children are consuming online. She said that digital spaces have been associated with the infringement of children's rights. Chelule highlighted this during the issuance of National Government Affirmative Action Fund bursary checks amounting to 10 million shillings to learners from 11 sub-counties in Nakuru County.
Mambo ya teknoloji wakati nyingine ni mzuri ukijua kuitumia. Simu zetu za rununu ni mzuri kutumia, lakini isitumike kwa njia mbaya. Kwa hivyo mzazi, usilale ukifikiria pengine mambo ni mzuri. Talk to your children. Let's be responsible to our children. Sisi wote. Na ninasema hivi si wazazi peke yao. Hata pastors, watendakazi ya Mungu, hata viongozi katika community pale nyumbani, magroups ya kina mama, wale societies, cooperative societies. Na ninaposema hivi, sisemi ni wamama peke yao wataongelesha watoto wao. Hata wazee waongeleshe watoto wao.
1, 2, 3.
Moving on, security has been enhanced in northeastern Kenya as Kenyans prepare to mark Christmas Day next week. Speaking during a meeting with regional heads of departments to take stock on their achievements and areas of improvement in the course of the year, the regional commander John Otieno urged residents to collaborate with security officers in eliminating any security threats. Additionally, the national government administrative officers were directed to stay alert and swiftly respond to any emergencies. Otieno also cautioned citizens to avoid issuing alarming statements that would threaten the peace.
The security agencies have put measures in place
to make sure that residents of this region celebrate the December and January festivities in a peaceful and secure environment. We have put in place necessary security measures to deal with any emerging security threat, to deal with anybody breaking the law. So law and order will be maintained.
Very well, at about 1:15 we are due for a fast break. But when we come back, I'll also run you through a couple of more stories. Then we do business, and later on, the latest from the world of sports.
Karibuni, hii ndio base ya the best local entertainment.
Sitakubali ukalie kiti cha umiliki katika kampuni ya mume wangu.
Tell me where my money is and I'll make this quick and painless.
You don't know what they do to girls like you.
I think it's all my fault. Na kujua vizuri sana. Na jomgesi wangu vizuri sana. Hauwezi akakuandika kazi.
Hapa na DJ Andy C, trying to make sure that the music and the vibe is just about, you know, the festival seasons.
Tunatayarisha watu kwa hiyo mood.
Kwa hiyo mood.
Yeah.
The reason for the season is nothing but Jesus. You know, the Bible says, unto us a child is born.
Did you know that your baby boy has walked a ranger's strong?
Enjoying our festivities and gearing up for Christmas Day. One question lingers in my mind. What is the origin of Christmas?
The celebration of Jesus' birth is not just called Jesus' birth, it is called Christmas. The celebration of Mass during Christ's Day, which is Christmas.
The reason it was dated at that 25th, they say now, because we have the Christian fraternity mixed up with the pagan culture. They also claim to be the birth of a son, and they are also talking about the birth of a son. So they just dated it together. Now the merging together made it the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ.
So by the time Christmas was being given a date and a time and being told it's the birth of Jesus Christ, there was already celebration in the pagan world. So they were all brought together so that the whole world can celebrate.
Welcome back, and many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Elsewhere, Kenya Party leader Martha Karua now wants the government to be accommodative to its critics. Speaking at a Malindi hotel where she launched her book Against the Tide, the senior counsel called out leaders for trying to impose unpopular policies on Kenyans. She also called for the reconstitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, but cautioned the government against changing laws ahead of the election, such as the proposal to bar the media from live transmission of presidential events.
Regime asitumie maneno kama enough is enough,
You do not have the privilege of telling us enough is enough. Wewe ni mtu tumeajiri kazi. Wananchi ndio wadosi. Ndio wanaweza kukuambia enough is enough. Ukiona kiongozi anasema enough is enough, amelewa. Amelewa na madaraka. Hajielewi na haelewi katiba ya Kenya. Tuwekewe dawa hospitalini. Elimu ya watoto wetu iwekwe sawasawa. Mambo ile muhimu, tutafikia ng'ombe. Na tukifikia ng'ombe utatuelezea ni chanjo gani. Usiende mkatengeneze na marafiki zako wa beberu chanjo ambayo haieleweki ya kuja kuangamiza mifugo yetu na kutuangamiza kama binadamu. Ukikula nyama ya ng'ombe imedungwa na kitu haieleweki, pia wewe utaangamia.
Time to make sense of shillings and cents in business. Now, there is need to integrate financial literacy in the school curriculum and make it a mandatory subject to ensure learners are empowered with financial matters from a young age. And this is according to Kenya Police Deposit-Taking Circle National Chairperson David Mategwa, who attributes some of the challenges faced in society to low financial literacy skills.
Financial literacy is not just a skill, it is a competency that can help individuals navigate through life smoothly. However, Kenya Police DT Circle National Chairperson believes courses on financial matters should be prioritized in the school curricula to empower them to adequately handle economic issues.
I propose this that going forward, I think for us to make sure that the culture of saving is cultivated in this country is that we need to start it from the initial, from the primary level. We make it a subject that schools can put that in their syllabus, that they can take through the young people in terms of how cooperatives work, how beneficial they are, how they can make you a better person in the future.
Mategwa says early exposure to key financial concepts such as budgeting, savings, investment, and understanding credit will help foster a generation of responsible financial managers, reduce the adverse risks of debt, and encourage entrepreneurship.
What has made us actually to grow, one, is the issue of the education, the sensitization, education and training. We have invested heavily in education and training that makes our members understand how money works, understand the importance of saving. You should not be pushed to save.
The gross savings rate in Kenya is currently at 11.9%. A report by the financial sector deepening Kenya indicates that 55 in every 100 Kenyans had acquired loans from digital lending applications. Frederick Mwoki for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, Ajira Digital is stepping up sensitization of women and the youth on online opportunities and skills to boost the number of Kenyans working online. Ajira Digital National Coordinator Simon Moremi says online work opportunities could help Kenya tackle unemployment, especially among the youth. Moremi says Ajira Digital program offers free online training and resources to empower the youth with skills such as digital marketing, content creation, and coding to help them secure digital jobs.
Our end to the government end to the county governments and regional leaders and even the GAO officers that we need to sensitize our young people that regardless of your areas of training, there are opportunities in the digital space. The world is digital. There are opportunities locally and globally that you can access by being trained on this through this program on digital and digitally enabled work and be able to make a living out of it, a dignified work, decent income out of it. If you have a disability of any form, you're also able to take advantage of this opportunity. We focus also on women. 70% of our participants as a target should be women. So we ensure our young ladies are able to access training, able to access mentorship, and also linkages.
And HF Group says its rights issue has been oversubscribed by 38.32% after netting 6.38 billion shillings against a targeted 4.6 billion shillings. HF Group CEO Robert Kibara says the oversubscription is a vote of confidence by investors in the company.
Rights issue was priced at 4 shillings per share, allowing existing shareholders to acquire 2 new shares for every 1 share held, with investors having the option to apply for extra shares, a move that significantly boosted uptake.
We went to our shareholders asking for 4.6 billion shillings investment, in additional investments, and that's formed the core of the rights issue. We have now concluded the process. We have received applications of 6.4 billion shillings. Which is just under 140% performance against target.
The oversubscription was further bolstered by a green shoe option equivalent to 30% of the total offer, designed to absorb excess demand.
You are aware that we have these new regulations that are coming into play, where banks will be expected to grow their capital over a period of time to 10 billion shillings. And what this capital means for us is that we will be way ahead of the implementation schedule. And the second thing is that the bank now does have sufficient capital for its existing business, but also it has sufficient business to grow significantly into the future.
Kibara says 85% of the cash raised will be invested in business growth and 15% allocated for digitization to enhance operational efficiency. Trevor Njue for Lunchtime News.
Changamwe residents have welcomed construction of a 15,000 metric ton common user liquefied petroleum gas terminal in the area. Speaking during a public participation forum on the project, Mombasa County Commissioner Mohamed Noor said the forum offered members of the public an opportunity to raise any concerns, as well as being informed on how the LPG project will impact their lives. The LPG project will involve construction of 6 tanks with a capacity of 2,500 metric tons.
Tumepunguza capacity from 30,000 to 15,000. Hii yote tunataka tuwe na jirani tuwe pamoja na tuna cooperate kwa hii mradi.
Sasa sisi tuwashukuru kwamba hii kampuni imetimiza recommendations za koti 100%.
Elsewhere, small-scale horticultural farmers are said to be trained on how to meet the requirements of accessing the European market. International Labour Organization ILO Country Director Caroline Hamati says the training by the government of Kenya in conjunction with the ILO and the European Union targets to help unlock more potential of Kenya's horticultural subsector.
Programs on entrepreneurship training, we have programs on skills, upskilling and reskilling. We are working around digital economy in terms of what we are calling digitalize your work.
For us, we are looking more at how we can support small and medium-sized enterprises, cooperatives, companies owned by women and youth to access the EU market.
I know it could be a challenge for farmers to access market out there, and sometimes they get swindled by traders out there. So probably really the government needs to do something, especially, for example, the FPIC and all these other organizations that are tasked.
Switching gears to sports, the first phase of constructing 290 sports academies in Kenya will commence next month. According to the National Assembly's Sports Committee Chairman Dan Wanyama, each constituency will have one academy for talent harnessing and creation of jobs through sports and arts.
The construction of 290 camps will begin early next year, according to Honorable Dan Wanyama.
The government has already budgeted for 37 sports academies across the country, whereby the young people will be able, when they are done with their school, maybe when they close their term, they will be actually selected to go into a sports academy now to get the technique and also to be coached further by the people who understand specific disciplines across the board.
Wanyama was speaking yesterday when he visited a school holiday youth athletes camp in Nairobi and led the distribution of shoes to over 40 athletes who have been in a month-long training under the guidance of specialized coaches.
This is a focus that all the talented young men and women are going to be all-inclusive in these sports academies, including arts and film, because the sports academy will be all-inclusive.
The youth camps, which are held every school holiday by Athletics Kenya, with support from the Sports Ministry, are ongoing at all 54 camps in the country and are set to be closed this Sunday.
Na mimi nakimbia 100 meters. Na camp imekuwa vizuri, sio mbaya. Tulikuwa tunakimbia na tumefanya mazoezi vizuri.
Nimekuja camp, tuna train under coach Papicho, Utawala Sprints Club. Aspiration yangu ni hopefully by 2027 LA Olympics. If we make it, if all will be well, then we'll be there.
Athletics Kenya has been running school holiday youth camps since 2017, with many current world beaters emanating from the camps, among them Olympic champions Emmanuel Wanyonyi, Faith Kipyegon and Beatrice Chebet, as well as reigning 800 meters world champion Mary Moraa.
Further afield, holders Liverpool have been drawn against Tottenham in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, while Arsenal, the Gunners, will face Newcastle. Semi-final first legs will be played in the week commencing 6th of January 2025, and the second legs in the week beginning 3rd February, with Wembley Stadium hosting the final on 16th March. The draw comes after Dominic Solanke scored a brace to guide Tottenham Hotspurs to a 4-3 win against Manchester United.
And Zixi takes it. Spurs playing out. Caught out.
I think changing, maybe moving Fernandes.
Oh,
no.
Foster's been caught again. Diallo this time 3-2. And Manchester United in a wild 7 minutes. Lanky in there.
3 on the edge of the box.
Oh, and he's into the net. Henningson has just scored from the corner. He scores him. Diallo. Oh, and it's in. Johnny Evans at the near post.
Very well, and on that note, we wrap up KBC Lunchtime News this Members Day. Thank you indeed so much for watching. My name is Njue, and on behalf of everyone who has made this broadcast a success, including my director, Mogo Kariuki, thank you indeed so much for watching. I'll see you after the festivities, and have a Merry Christmas.
All I need to do now is to find out who put Blackie to it.
What makes you think that he was not working on his own volition?
Blackie is brutal, but not very smart.
Mambo Ruth.
You will get your money by the end of the week.
End of the week ndakuwa nimededi Ruth. Yaje mdosi.
Where are you hiding this criminal?
Bona sikuelewi.
He is here! How do you think this is gonna play out?
I'm having such a beautiful morning.
Kekara is very, very well composed at the moment.
That is a good thing, right?
You don't get it. Have Ruth call me.
Na sahi niko na too much anger.
This week on the 77% Street Debate.
My neighbor, sisters, brothers.
Sorry, all those people have been kidnapped in your family?
Yes, they used to kidnap my family.
If they kill people tired, no money, no ransom, maybe they will have to stop.
But how many? That cannot be a solution. So you think that it's okay for people to get murdered just so that a solution can be found?
If there is money, the killing will continue.
Hello and welcome back to the 77% Street Debate. This week we are back in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Now, 7,500. That's the number of reported kidnapping cases in a period of 1 year in this country between June 2023 and July 2024. Obviously, some very staggering statistics there. And of course, behind every figure is a person. The people who are going to be speaking to us today, trying to figure out why the situation persists in Nigeria and what can be done about it. Let's start right here with Hawa. Now, when we talk about kidnapping in Nigeria, you might go back to the Chibok girls, and you were actually one of them. It's been 10 years since you were abducted. Do you mind telling us what happened to you?
That day that we are in school, these people just come around the school and they just tell us that they are the soldiers, they are the ministry of the soldiers in Nigeria, and they come to protect us. They just carry us to the Sambisa for 3 years. We spent 3 years for there, and we are just praying, God will help us, and we will still come back to see our parents. And they start asking us that we will be a Muslim or this thing, and we start scaring, and we just say yes. We start collecting the hijab.
Yeah.
After that, we just spent 2 years or 2 years, and we just say we don't want the Islam again. We want to come back to Christian.
Yeah.
And they just tell us that they give us 3 days, whether they want to kill us or something like that. And we say yes, we accept that we will die in Christian. And they just give us 3 days. After 3 days, we are just sitting down thinking, crying, that they will come and kill us. And among us, 5 people just coming out, they just say that they will not be a Christian, they will just follow the Muslim. And they start praying there. And they, after 2 years, 3 years, and we just released from there. And they start getting married among us. We just sit in our Goza for 6 months.
Yeah. So you were captured for 3 years. That's obviously a very long time. Mustafa, you had a very different experience. She was obviously captured by Boko Haram. They have some very incredible militant ideologies based on religion. Do you know who your captors were and what happened to you?
One day, I come back in the night. I open my gate and I enter. When I enter, so just passing the window through my toilet, then I saw someone climbing my gate. So they were wearing black clothes, looking like police, but they covered their faces.
And were they armed?
Yeah, they were armed, about 18 of them.
Wow.
They were carrying AK-47. We spent the whole night by trekking. They were walking, beating me here and there. So immediately we went there. So I had them asking about one of the captives there, what is the news about this guy, about his family. So they says that they just says that they will pay 750,000. So I heard one of them saying sergeant. From there they just went ahead by killing that person. From there the thing becomes somehow for me. So I've been with them for good 15 days because in that situation it's just between life and death. And they were just asking of a ransom of 100 million. While asking of that, I said that I don't have it, and none of my family is having that 100 million that they are calling. It says that if there is no such money, they will kill me. There was no way I saw me coming back to my family. Wow. So, but with prayers, at the end, I got free by coming out. But all I understand with them is just that some need money.
Let me ask Dr. Ahmed this question, and I'm really sorry that you both went through that. But of course, the situation that we're talking about here in Nigeria is not unique to these two. As a matter of fact, let me just see from our audience, how many people here know of someone who was kidnapped or knows a friend or a friend of a friend? Yeah? No Nigerian. Okay. So you're saying no Nigerian has been unaffected. Yeah, but these are two very different motivations, right? It would seem like. Where does that disparity come from?
Well, the disparity in the case of kidnappers for ransom, it started lightly as a conflict between herders and farmers, which is normally occur during the harvest. But at a later time, it continued to grow around 2001, 2002, and 2003. I reported the presence or the possession, illegal possession of arms among the Hausa and among the Fulani.
Who are the Hausa and the Fulani for our audience who are not familiar with Nigeria?
Okay, fine. The Fulani are the hardest, and the Hausa is a tribe that has been mixed up by religion. The hardest, mostly the Fulani, are migrants. And during a dry season, they move from one place to another. Okay. During rainy season, they move from one place to another.
Okay, so we are clear on who they are. And now you're telling me they start a conflict because of grazing lands, because of drought. But how does that then become kidnapping?
Well, it later became kidnapping because of the so many issues. I can outline the few. Lack of social justice. 2, the corruption among our security personnel. 3, inability of the traditional institutions to have a kind of responsibility, a settled responsibility. The issues of managing the grazing lands. Those traditional personalities or leaders, they started selling those grazing, carved grazing lands to the farmers. So herders have no alternative. The judicial system in Nigeria becomes so collapsed because of the level of corruption, institutional corruption, and so on and so forth.
So, Dr. Ahmed, let me just pause there because it's a huge and very complicated history, but I think we get the gist of it. And you've talked about the security forces and their response to that. Obviously, when we're talking about kidnapping, you'd expect to find a uniformed police officer here. We actually had one, and they actually came right up here to our venue. But at the very last minute, when they heard that it was a debate, they chose not to participate. Regardless of that, you still depend on the police officers, Halima, and one of your relatives was also kidnapped. And I'm just trying